Hey, how's it going? How y'all doing? Welcome back, man. What's going on? We're going to be doing just a timeless reading today. Just real quick before I even start, so I'm completely redoing my Patreon. I did take it out of my descriptions for my latest videos and for my main channel description. I'm thinking about just doing it in a way where I do like an extended, or I just do like a video after I record this video. So it'll be like an extended or whatever wants to come out. So yeah, I'll let you guys know when I get all that set up. I'm gonna try to have it set up by the time I put this video up. So if it is like set up and ready to go, it'll be in the description and all the new, I'm just gonna do like one tier, and that one tier will just be access to like extendeds. And if we end up doing anything extra, that will be in there. But I just wanted to restructure it. So if you notice, I did take it out of the bio completely, and that's why, because I'm trying to restructure it and just do it a little bit differently. But anyways, some of the main messages I'm just like, not even messages. I'm picking up on this energy today where it's very heavy. First of all, I mean, we're hitting a full moon here coming tomorrow. I think it is on Tuesday. I think it's on the 6th is when the full moon starts, and then Pisces goes into, Saturn goes into Pisces on the 7th, right? So it's a massive energetic week. There's a lot going on. I'm sure there's other stuff going on too. I was watching a video yesterday. Somebody was talking about how there's like a T-square going on between the moon and Mars or something like that. I don't know. I haven't been too familiar with the aspects in a while. I don't really look into it too much. But the energy I'm picking up on, it's just this energy of somebody wants to work something out. It's just this feeling of unease. It's as though somebody just feels like they need to say something. It's like somebody wants to just blurt out a bunch of stuff. I don't know what it's about. We're gonna tap into the reading and see what comes out. But to me, it just seems like it's just this energy where, and this is coming out on the short reading too, where somebody is just realizing how they played a part in the connection, whether this is you or somebody else. Both people will always play a part in a connection, and that's kind of what I'm picking up on. It's this energy of somebody's like, well, I see how my actions have led to this, that, and the third, and maybe why it caused this person to do this, that, and the third, right? So that's really the main thing that was coming out for me. I didn't get any particular messages. So we're just going to go ahead and tap in and just see what comes out, right? We're going to just do our thing. So let's just take a deep breath, say a prayer, and hop into the reading. Pray to God, Spirit, my guides, my angels, and my ancestors to help the collective see the clearest messages for the highest good, for all involved in our life, love, and relationships, for any messages you have for us today, right? So if you want to book a personal reading, everything's in the description. I will never contact you in any way, shape, or form for a reading. I can't even call it a new single anymore. It's been out for a month, but I do have my latest single out in the description as well, titled The Magician. Thank you to all who have been supporting. I do appreciate you, but let's go ahead and tap in. I don't want to take too much of your time. We already got some cards coming out. We are starting with the Sorcerer's Tarot today. My deck, it's so dilapidated. This is the newest box, or the newest deck that I've gotten, and this poor thing is just completely destroyed. Anyways, bottom of the deck we have the Hermits, we have the Seven of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so I mean, this could be somebody you're connected to, man. I feel like this is exactly what we were talking about. Somebody here wants to come forward and try to work things out, honestly. I feel like somebody here is now starting to see the value of the connection. I feel like somebody here has taken the time to go into hermit mode, right? So if this is somebody you've been connected to, this could be them just in hermit mode, essentially just reflecting on the past, reflecting on how things have gone between you guys, wanting to fix things, right? Wanting to come forward. Oh my God, excuse me. As soon as I start talking, man, all the gas just starts coming up from my body. So it just seems like somebody here is kind of, they just want to come forward and make some sort of emotional offer. I'm very wary on saying that this person wants to come forward and do this and do that, because it's a general reading that can resonate differently for everybody. But regardless, though, this to me is somebody who wants to express emotions, right? I feel like this is going to likely start as a friendship if it's not already a friendship. So this would be taking that friendship to the next level, making the decision to invest in the connection. This is the card of like a happy home life is what I see it as, what I see this lady with all the cats. Again, it feels like somebody is like reacclimating to the world around them is kind of what it feels like. I feel like somebody has been in this hermit mode for a while, and they're ready to just enter the world again in some kind of way, whether that's entering the workforce again, whether that's just like starting a new class or taking like some new course, whether that's you starting a new, like investing more energy and time into a new area of your business, investing into a particular relationship, investing more into yourself. It's going to look different for everybody, but it's kind of like a secondhand energy I'm seeing here, where somebody wants to just take the steps necessary, right? And now that Saturn is going into Pisces, man, and especially with the full moon and all this energy supporting this really deep introspective energy, the moon's going to be in Virgo. And Virgo to me is very organized energy, very, how would you say, somebody who really takes the time to make plans and put those plans into action, doesn't say or do things without thinking, right? Somebody who's very organized, very particular, very like detail oriented in so many different ways, right? That's just kind of what it feels like to me, man. It feels like somebody here, whether this is you or somebody you are connected to, wants to, I'm like apprehensive to say reconcile, but I mean, Three of Cups energy can be reconciliatory energy. But this could also be somebody reflecting on, you know, maybe there was just a third party situation, whether or not that is romantic or otherwise. And I feel like this person is now having some major realizations about that situation. It doesn't look like something that I feel like is very stable, right? I feel like there was like the desire to make the initial investment, but it doesn't seem like it's turning out to be a very flighty type of energy. This is turning out to be, I don't know, man, if this is somebody your person is connected to, it feels like a very immature type of energy, somebody who's not very sure of themselves or their emotions, right? Let's go and pull some more cards. Side note though, if you guys remember the last video, the security guard came and he was parked over by here. I ended up introducing myself after I did the reading because he was just eating his lunch. He's a cool guy, man. He said I was a good kid. I just thanked him for just looking out for me the other time when they thought I was like driving all crazy. You guys remember that? So I just thanked him for that, and he was just like saying, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." So I'm glad you guys are good kids. Like I'm not a kid. I'm getting a little up there, but thank you. But let's see what else comes out, man. Let's see what else comes out. I've got a lot of new love energy, man. I mean, we have the Page of Cups that just came out. We have the Knight of Cups that came out earlier. You could have options. I feel like you might have multiple stable options, right? And we've talked about options before, and it's like options are only options if you don't know what you want. So I think this is just the energy to really get in touch with that. I mean, I feel like you may also just be getting back into the world and getting back into dating again, is also what it kind of seems like. Because again, we do have the Three of Cups. This is like just like going out, having fun with friends. This could be dating, casually dating, getting to know different people, talking to different people. I just feel like whoever's been in that hermit energy wants to come out of that. I feel like there's a sense of coming out of this hermit energy. I feel like Saturn and Aquarius has really kept us in our heads for so long, and now we're going to be dropping into this really deep and soulful heart space where I feel like we put all of these plans in, like we made all of these plans during Saturn, not retrograde, but Saturn being in Aquarius, and now we're getting the opportunity to really apply a more emotional approach to those plans. That's kind of how I feel about that energy, because I've been in my Saturn return and I'm now coming out of it, but some of you are now going to be entering your Saturn return for the next 2.5 years. And if you're not familiar, Saturn return essentially it's the coming of age transition, right? It's when Saturn enters, it basically makes a whole circle around the zodiac back to your sign. So I have Saturn Aquarius in the first house. So if you have Saturn in Pisces, go take a look at whichever chart you look at, see which house it's in, and that's going to give you insight into what you're going to be learning for the next 2.5 years, 2.5 years or so, right? Back to the reading, I feel like somebody has some really deep feelings for you. I think somebody's heartbroken about the situation. They want to bring justice to the situation, and they do want to work on this because they see this as something stable and possibly even long term, okay? It just feels like to me, man, somebody here is really heartbroken about what has happened between you two, okay? This is the message that was coming out in the short video. I think somebody's just really taking the time to get in touch with themselves. I feel like through connecting with you, you've given them the opportunity to connect with themselves on a deeper level. You've shown them a side of themselves that they didn't know existed, and that's by you just living in your truth, right? That's just you kind of doing your thing, like living your spiritual truth, like following your journey, just living life through your authenticity, being authentic to your spiritual journey and not being afraid to be yourself. And by doing that, that's what attracts the right people to you, because if you're not being authentic in your relationships, you're not giving people the opportunity to love you properly because they can't love a false version of you, and then you get disappointed because they didn't love you in a way that you felt was authentic to what you want to experience when you weren't showing up authentically. So this is also a message here that's asking you to take a look at how you show up in your relationships. Are you showing up in a way that is actually authentic to yourself, or are you trying to people please and self-sacrifice to keep yourself in a situation? What I mean by self-sacrifice is, are you overstepping your own boundaries? Are you doing and saying things because you think somebody will like them? Are you tolerating things that you normally wouldn't tolerate just to stay in a relationship? These are all really good things to look at when you're in a situation like this. Okay, if this is somebody you're dealing with, this is somebody who is essentially having a having a spiritual awakening. That was another message I was tapping into when I woke up this morning. Somebody out there, I don't know if this is you or somebody you're connected to, is going through a dark night of the soul. This is what I see this as: Three of Swords, the Moon, and the Page of Cups. This is like being rebirth. This is death and rebirth energy, right? This is the dark side of the emotions. This is essentially what happens in the dark. This is the moon energy, what happens in the nighttime. That's when a lot of the deep emotions come up, when you're by yourself and when you have time to reflect on everything that's been going on. It's really easy to get distracted with the world around you when you're really busy doing this kind of stuff, right? Standing in your truth, living your spiritual journey, following your dreams, putting in the work, building your life and all that stuff, trying to bring justice into your life, trying to find balance and all that stuff. But it's when the nighttime rolls around that you really have a chance to slow down and feel the heartbreak. And I feel like some of you may be going through this as well. And it's not necessarily, I don't feel like it's any one thing that you're heartbroken about. I feel like it's just a collective of experiences that are culminating up into this point. And I feel like this full moon here, we don't really have any earth energy aside from just, the Eight of Pentacles. But this is the type of energy that's coming up, where I feel like this full moon is really getting us to look at why we feel the way we feel, why certain people affect us certain ways, how we can become more solid within ourselves, so that way we can essentially stand on our own and essentially learn to trust our own emotions and not rely on other people to bring us fulfillment, but still being open to that fulfillment. Okay, regardless though, if this is somebody you're connected to, again, I do feel like there is the desire to work on this relationship. Somebody wants to bring justice. If that's not the case, you're going to be getting justice brought into your life. This is a very similar message to last reading, because you decided to just put in the work. I don't feel like you gave up. You decided to really take the time to invest in yourself, to invest in your life. And I feel like because you've decided to do that, the universe is going to be blessing you in a lot of different ways, right? Again, we have the Hermit energy that came out in the crowning spread. If you guys remember in the last video, we were tapping into energies where it's a very deeply profound spiritual energy that was coming through. Somebody who is very, very wise in their own ways, whether that's spiritually, emotionally, materially. I feel like that's all a culmination of those being in that Hermit energy. You come out of that with a very deep wisdom, and it's up to you as to whether you want to share that with people. You may have people that are coming to you to look for guidance, people that may have counted you out, maybe people that may have shit on you in different kinds of ways. And those people were more than likely just not feeling solid within themselves, and so they projected their fears and their emotions onto you, making you out to be somebody you're not, right? But at the end of the day, the universe is going to show those people what's happening in that way. It's going to allow them to look at themselves through you. As they see you doing stuff like this, they see you bringing justice into your life. Again, I feel like you're just shattering people's perspectives of what is possible within their own life, because you're doing so much in yours and the universe is blessing you in so many ways. It's triggering a lot of people into this energy. There's a lot of people here who don't feel like they have the experience necessary to either approach you or to even just manage their own expectations within what they want to do. But again, dude, I feel like if this is somebody you're dealing with, I don't feel like they're really showing this to you if you're in a relationship with this person. It seems like somebody here, the reason that they're feeling kind of heartbroken here is because they just don't feel like they're enough. I'm having trouble speaking today. It's a lot of just energy that's coming forward. Even since I woke up this morning, I was like, it's just been very intense and very heavy. So I've been trying to release anything that's not mine and just process my own stuff, because I know what my own energy feels like, and it's not hard for me to tell when I'm picking up on other stuff. That's kind of what it seems like, man. I feel like somebody is just overwhelmed. If this is somebody thinking about working on things with you. Somebody here is just overwhelmed about what that's going to look like. They don't know if they're good enough. They don't know if you're going to accept them or forgive them. They don't know if you're just going to cut them off. There's a lot of confusion and indecision. There's a lot of just analysis paralysis in this energy. Okay, Spirit's telling me to move on from this. Let's go ahead and pull some cards from the Hieronymus Bosch deck. All right. Here we go, Hieronymus Bosch, and let's see what comes out. Oh man. Also wanted to just say thank you to everybody who's been showing so much love on the videos lately, man. It's like I've seen the same people coming through that I appreciate, and new people coming through that I appreciate just as much. And I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for you guys, man. I really, really do appreciate you guys' comments and your likes and your subscribes and stuff. Like, it really does make my day. And it makes me feel like I'm doing something with my life and like helping people in a way that I like to help people with this stuff. So I'm very grateful for that. And I know I say that a lot, but it's because I just want to let you guys know, and I think it's important for me to tell you that I'm very grateful for you guys. But excuse me. First card out is Sin of Gluttony. We got this last reading. Food, eating, consumption, and cooking. Okay, we got Table of Plenty. We also got this last reading. Success, food, rewards, and capitalism. 2 food cards. Maybe you're a chef. Maybe you work in the food industry. Baron of Vessels. I know I work in the food industry for many years. Drunkenness, carousing, moderation. Deception, lies, deceit, hidden truths, and secrets. I don't think I can really show this one on the video. I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. So we're going to leave this one down here, and then we'll have the other ones out. Yeah, dude, we got Barrel Boy again at the bottom of the deck. We got a lot of the same cards, actually. There's the Grail Knights down there again as well. Barrel Boy, Stillness, Patience, Inner Reflection, and Restraint. I feel like I don't know, man, somebody here, it's just a lot of deception. I don't know if this is you or somebody you're connected to, or somebody connected to your person. I feel like somebody here thought something was going to be fruitful, and they're now seeing that it's not, right? This can be in work, this can be in love and relationships, this could be in family, right? But I feel like somebody here is being freed from that, man. I feel like if people and situations are falling away from your life, and it's because the universe is doing it for a reason, man. Like, not everybody can sit at the table that you're going to be eating at, man. When you're like manifesting these blessings and doing all these things, you got to understand that, dude, not everybody has your best interests in mind. Not everybody is here to love you and support you genuinely. They might just want what you have, right? The thing about this card is they're giving this person all kinds of stuff, but if I remember correctly, yeah, see, essentially the whole thing about it is like one of the little creatures is like peeing into this thing, right? It's kind of gruesome, but it's like they're like, oh yeah, have as much as you want. It's almost like a love bombing energy to me, right? So it's one of those things. It just feels like frenemies, that kind of thing. If you got people around you that act like they're your friend, but when it comes time to show up for you, they're nowhere to be found, right? It's because you don't have your best interest in mind. I don't like to be the bearer, of that kind of news, but man, I've gone through it so many times. I'm here to tell you that it's a very real experience. And if you haven't seen it, you will see it if you haven't already. Not to manifest that for you, but if you don't have any suspicions in any way of anything like this, discard the message. The only way I feel like you should really take these messages to heart is, one, if you're watching readings or getting personal readings and they're continuing to show up for you in a way that resonates, then for sure take a look at it. But if it's just something that you don't even think about or suspect, there's no intuition there, don't even take this message to heart, because it could very well not be for you. Not every single piece of the reading will be for you. Some parts may resonate very much and other parts not, because I do read for a little group of people, right? But that's just to say that not everybody can eat at the table, man. Not everybody's going to be able to come with you where you're going, and that's going to change as you grow and as you go further on your path. Not everybody's going to be able to essentially come with you, man, because some people, they just grow to a certain point, and whether or not it's in their path to go further, it's really up to them. But I feel like the people I read for are continuously growing. It's not something where you ever stop. It's like you grow, you don't stay in one spot for long, you grow and you grow and you grow, and that's just the nature of the people I read for, man. That's what y'all do. All right, let's go and get another pull here. right? If this person does decide to come back around, the one that was coming out earlier, that wants to work things out with you, I said this in the short message, and if you guys don't know, I put on Instagram, I read out a description, like more channel messages, and then I put that inside the description of the short. I don't know how to get to the description of the short, as I haven't tried myself, but I think if you go to my channel, you go to shorts, you click on the video, you should be able to go to the description, and there's a little channel message in there. In that channel message, I was saying that if somebody does decide to come back around and you want to give it a second chance, don't be afraid to state your needs, your wants, and your boundaries, and give people a chance to show you that they've changed before you really fully forgive them, right? You can like find forgiveness and let bygones be bygones, but it's a different story when it comes to your close relationships, whether that's romantic or otherwise. If people are willing to change, you got to let them show you that they've changed. We keep getting like the same cards for the past 3 readings. I don't know why we keep getting these same cards. Almost not all of the same cards, but very similar cards. Like we got this one before too, Flower Pusher. This is essentially Justice in this deck. Again, Justice coming out twice, man. You're going to be getting some serious justice, dude. I feel like because you focused on yourself, you didn't focus on the karma of another person. Page of Swords says eagerness, enthusiasm, future and potential, or future potential. We have this one here, Queen of Berries. We've gotten that before. Fertility, a powerful female, and motherhood. And then the River to Hell. This is like the 3rd time we've gotten this, man. Movement, journey, difficulty, and struggles. So again, I feel like whatever you've been going through, you're going to be getting some justice for that, okay? I feel like if you've been going through these very deep, and I feel like this is the Tower. To me, this just feels like the Tower. I know it's not technically spoken of as the Tower in the deck, but this feels like Tower energy to me. I know we've gotten this card before. This is why I like to read intuitively, because this to me now feels like a Tower. And I feel like this isn't a bad Tower. I don't feel like this is something coming in that you're going to be like, oh, this is so terrible. My life sucks. Why are these things going this way? I feel like it's going to be the opposite. You're going to start getting some very, I don't know, I feel like you're just going to be getting blessed with tons of abundance, dude. Like this person essentially, the whole thing about this card is this person is pregnant with a bunch of, she's apparently pregnant from a bunch of different men in her harem is what they call it. But I see this as somebody who is essentially full with divine ideas. You're going to be birthing a lot of different ideas, and that's because you're stepping into a new space. Yes, you're in the Page energy, and you may not always know exactly what you're doing, but that's not going to stop you from essentially moving in these new directions. I feel like the universe, again, is going to be blessing you. You may be getting love offers. You may be getting new career offers. I keep picking up on this energy here where somebody wants to bring justice to a situation. I feel like somebody who may have taken advantage of the situation, they may not have treated you so well. Somebody here wants to right the wrongs, and I don't know if that has to do with them needing to feel good within themselves or them genuinely wanting to, work things out with you for the sake of the relationship. That's to be determined, you know what I mean? But I feel like at the end of the day, man, you're going to have the opportunity to work these things out with somebody. If that's not the case, you're going to have the opportunity to essentially just continue to build your life. But more than anything, I feel like I just feel like there's some type of conversation that wants to come in. I don't know if this is you having realizations about a situation. Again, this could just be somebody watching you from the distance for now. I mean, this is Page of Swords, and Page of Swords in the traditional tarot is somebody who is watching from a distance, right? So this could be somebody that you may not even be connected to right now, right? I feel like they're going through their own process of healing. I feel like whoever decided to maybe go in another direction, maybe they were investing in a third party or whatever it was that was going on, they're going through some very intense struggles. This card, the traditional meaning of this card in this deck, is essentially somebody working towards a goal, going through a lot of different conflicts and struggles, but never actually reaching a peaceful resolution, right? And so I feel like there's this energy of somebody who is just not at ease. They just can't seem to find peace within themselves because of how they were moving in this connection, right? I feel like there was just some major injustice that was done to you by this person, and they're just not feeling at peace because of that. So I don't want to focus on their energy. What I want to focus on is how you can find forgiveness for them, right? That's something I've been working on as well. How to find forgiveness for people that have hurt you while still maintaining your boundaries, right? And for me, forgiveness is something where it's not just saying, I forgive you, it's done. No, like forgiveness is a process where you're going to feel anger, you're going to feel the sadness, and you have to sit with those, process those, and let those go. And not really do the victim blaming. Don't play the victim. Don't, project onto people. Realize that all people play a part regardless of how things went. Whether that's somebody doing something terrible and you being complicit in that happening and sticking around long enough for that to happen, overstepping your own boundaries and self-sacrificing, or whether you both just genuinely have hurt each other in different ways and there's a need to reconcile to, solve that. It's also what I'm picking up on. I feel like all these struggles you guys have been going through, I don't feel like it's going to be going on for long if it hasn't already come to an end. And I feel like both of you, if you decide to, have an opportunity to work this out, to bring justice into this relationship. But it's going to depend on you and your situation, for sure. So let's go ahead and we're going to get a closing message, and then I'm likely going to take this over to an extended and see how that comes out. I'm just trying the whole extended thing. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are into that. I honestly don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about doing for a while. And I just feel like it'd be easier to do that than what I had already set my Patreon up as. I just don't know if I just like, with everything that had started happening, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with doing it that much. So I was like, okay, I need to restructure it. So let me just go ahead and get a final closing message here for you guys with the animal messages. Oracle deck. All right, let's see what comes out. Okay, I'll take these two. Bottom of the deck we have Chameleon. It says conceal ambition with patience until it is time to make your move. We have Squirrel, Red Squirrel. It says gather your resources now, for they will sustain you through the coming change. We have Tiger. Passion and adventure beckon, man. So I don't feel like you see this coming. Again, I feel like this is the person that's coming through in the reading that has been kind of coming through in these readings. If this is somebody you're connected to, right? And keep in mind, like, even though these are general readings, we do all tend to go through very similar lessons, as well as the people we are connected to. Which is why I like to do these readings, because I feel like it helps a bunch of different people in different ways. It gives me insight into my own situations and my own past and all those kinds of things. But again, I don't feel like this is something you see coming. I feel like somebody may not be showing their true colors just yet. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like somebody here is just kind of keeping their distance, watching from a distance. We had the Page of Swords that came out. Somebody kind of regretting how things have gone, how they may have treated you, all that kind of stuff that's been coming out for a while now. And I feel like we're just kind of watching this process. So if this is you in this energy, this is essentially just coming to terms with how you've taken part in your relationships, forgiving yourself for everything that has happened, forgiving yourself for the things you didn't know any better. Because sometimes you do things and you really just don't know any better. Because when we're stepping into these healthy relationships or trying to step into healthy relationships, if you only know toxicity and just unhealthy dynamics, you don't know how to move healthily because you don't have the experience. And so I feel like you're in that page energy where you're entering these new spaces and having to learn a lot about how that works. And I don't feel like that's just you. I feel like you are both forcing each other to essentially work through these issues together, as in, like, whether that's in separation individually to come back to heal things, or whether that's to just come together to make amends, let bygones be bygones, and go your separate ways and manifest something new. It's going to be different for everybody. But regardless though, man, I feel like because things are going the way they're going in this situation, you have some very solid, I feel like, to me, this just feels like a solid commitment coming in. I don't know if this is somebody you're connected to, somebody new. But regardless, man, I feel like this is one of those things where it's like Spirit's just asking you to open your heart to adventure, open your heart to love, be willing to love again, right? I know things may have been difficult, and I know things may not always make sense, but just trust that what is meant to be with you and what is meant for you will not miss you, but you can fuck it up if you don't do the inner work and you don't face your shadow and you don't take accountability. You can sabotage things. Like, it's possible. Like, self-sabotage is a very real thing in relationships, and a lot of times when you meet somebody and things are going really well, we're almost trained to look for something bad to happen, and looking for bad things where there may not be any, creating issues where there may not be any. And that's why it's really important to be in touch with your trauma and how that plays in your relationships, right? But that said, man, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm going to take this over to an extended. We're going to kind of delve into these energies a little more. Any other messages that want to come out. I should have, I'll basically just have the Patreon out by the time I put I'll put the video on Patreon when I get my Patreon organized and set up and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's just to tell you that that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the Patreon. If you've been wondering why it's been taken out of my description, that is why. If you want to book a personal reading, though, everything is in the description. The only way to book a reading with me is to send me an email or DM me on Instagram. I will never contact you for a reading. My latest single, The Magician, is also in the description. I do appreciate all of you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and all of that stuff. I do appreciate your comments. I actually interact with every single one. So yeah, if you guys have commented, you guys know that I'm always in the comments. Try to reply as fast as I can. But that said, man, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't end up doing the Patreon, it is no worries. I will see you in the next video. But that would be a really, really great way to support me and my channel, to allow me to do this on a more regular basis. Would be really nice. But either way, I do love you and I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.